Hey Scorpio, thank you so much for joining me for your October Written in the Stars Horoscope. Super excited to see what is ahead for you. Of course, I'm extra excited because it's October. Happy birthday to you October Scorpios. And I'm sure like a disproportionate number of you, this is probably your favorite month of the year, not just because of your birthday, but because of Happy Halloween, Happy Samhain, Happy Dia de los Muertos, happy all the awesome stuff that is coming up ahead. I love this month, super my favorite. But something else really cool is happening this month, especially maybe for you. Jupiter, the giant benefactor of the solar system, the planet of luck, growth, fortune, and even wealth, is moving into your sign on October 10th. And Jupiter hangs out in a sign for a year, so he'll be there through November 2018. And for you, he's moving into your house of self, the house of looks and personality. So this is a wonderful, like the next year for you, you gotta capitalize. You gotta capitalize on what you got because this is an amazing aspect, okay? This is bringing you a fresh start. This brings you a major dose of optimism and positive energy, which is what Jupiter is all about. He brings the party, he brings happiness, he brings, like I said, growth, expansion, and blessings wherever he goes. So here's the other thing about having him in your house of looks and personality. You're bound to be noticed. Are you thinking of putting yourself out into the world in a bigger way? Maybe publishing something, broadcasting something, showing up somewhere in full force in your scorpionic way? This is going to be a wonderful year to do that. Yep, the Spirit is also, wow. Okay, let's just see what this card was because they were saying a big dose of confidence. Wow. You're also getting a big dose of confidence thanks to Jupiter. And here's your first card ushering us into October. So let's see, Scorpio. Okay. What's coming up for Scorpio in October? October. For Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising Spirit. What does Scorpio need to know for their highest good this month? Always and only for their highest good. In Scorpio, you can also read more about what Jupiter is going to do for you on my blog, writteninthestars.co, where I write weekly horoscopes and stuff. So if you're into that, please go for it and enjoy. Scorpio. Scorpio. Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising for October. What are the themes and influences in October, Spirit? For Scorpio. What can they expect? What is the story? The energies, the characters? What does Scorpio need to know for their highest good? Scorpio, Sun, Scorpio, Moon, Scorpio rising. What do they need to know, Spirit? Scorpio in October 2017. Okay? Okay. And don't you worry, Scorpio. I'm going to bring you down to look at this. And if you've been here before, you have probably noticed I've got a new setup going on here. So you're going to get a whole lot of face right now as I come in and show you what you got. All right. Yay. Speaking of October, now it's really getting scary. Thanks for Scorpio. I appreciate your patience. We're going to figure this out. Okay. There we go. Okay. So, clearly, Scorpio, you are an intense creature, and therefore, like every moment of your life, every month is intense. But you are definitely undergoing a massive transformation in October. I feel that some of you are really making the effort, the big moves to put yourself out. I mean, it goes with what Jupiter, the Jupiter talk we were having. And putting yourself out there comes with risk. It comes with stress. It comes with wins and feelings of loss. Like Spirit is saying, highs and lows this month, okay? And they're saying that is the risk of your passion. And the dichotomy of your cards is really interesting because I see so many rewards, and the rewards come, you know, as you break through these fears, as you bust through your own walls, as you detonate your own pedestals that you've put things on. I feel like some of you need to do some major forgiveness of yourself this month. And okay, so I should say, Scorpio, these are general readings. They're for every Scorpio, sun, moon, and rising tuning in. So some of these messages are going to resonate more than others, or you may need to look for the nuance in the read at some points to follow your own intuition, your intuitive soul, to follow your own thread through the reading. If I'm talking about a relationship that is disappointing, but for you it's actually like you know, maybe it's your relationship to your boss at work, not in your love life, but otherwise it's all making sense, then follow that thread. Trust your intuition. Okay, so I mentioned that because Spirit said some of you have made a major move to commit to something, like commit to chasing your passion, and like they said, that comes with stress. That comes with worry, because you're not just being complacent. It's a lot easier to not stress out when you're not risking anything, when you're not putting your work up against other people's, when you're not making an effort to create something that wasn't there before, but you are. And there is discomfort in that inherently, because there's discomfort in growing. I mean, we physically have growing pains because our body's like, oh my God, this is a lot. But it's what we fucking need. We wouldn't say like, no, I'm good. I would rather just stop. I'm good. I would rather hang out at, you know, this exact moment forever and never grow past this. No. And of all signs, Scorpio, you are always up for growth. You're always up for transformation, for shedding a skin. And you know what? You're also the sign of pleasure pain. You're also the sign of recognizing that those things are intertwined. So it may be easier for you to receive a message like, hey, committing to this brings incredible highs. It just also means that you have to suffer some inevitable disappointments, because sometimes you don't meet your own standards, and that's when you can be like the hardest on yourself, Scorpio. So for those of you who this is creative, because I am feeling that there's a big faction of you that this is like creative stuff, like, ugh, I'm putting my writing out there, you know, or ugh, I'm putting my music, my art out there, and, you know, people are critiquing it, or I'm looking at it myself in comparison to other people, and I'm like, ugh, this is crap. It's supposed to be like this, but instead it looks like this, you know. I'm looking at these beautiful golden cups rendered in impossible 2D on the wall and thinking that's what my life should look like, and it's like, no. Nothing that you're looking at on Instagram or like wherever is an actual comparison to real life, because real life is real life. And real life is messy, like these overturned cups. And real life brings surprises like that painting can never do, like the hand reaching over your shoulder and refilling your cup. So the fantasy may have looked prettier, but the reality will feel more satisfying, okay? So hold on, is what they're saying, Scorpio. Hold on, because this is just part of the journey. The shake up and the shake down and the stripping down, this is all part of the journey for you to build something that is yours. I feel that very strongly. Some of you are like building a business, or maybe you're working toward a new career, a new height in your career. You have the Emperor here, and he's right next to Death. And then Death is lined up with this Tower and with this card of chasing your passion. You're in hot pursuit, Spirit just said. You're in hot pursuit, and when you want something new, things have to change, Scorpio. Again, you know that. You are the sign of change. Spirit is saying that for some of you, you can, to the extent that you're willing to make conscious changes, you can avoid some of this feeling of the Tower. The Tower is a card of things falling apart, of being struck from the outside, like circumstances outside of yourself. Sometimes this could mean getting fired, or someone you know, getting fired, like someone you live with, or perhaps even like there's a death in the family or someone close to you, and it just throws everything completely out of whack. Now, in a general reading, I would never presume to talk about that specific of a situation, because Spirit is more saying some of you have experienced catastrophe in the recent past or as we move into October. And things are being cleared away. The landscape is shifting. But when the tower falls, you can always use the rubble to build something new. A road, a bridge, a fortress. What do you want to build? Because you are definitely manifesting, cultivating something strong this month, Scorpio. I feel like some of you are studying hard. Like literally are students and are investing in yourself, in your future. And some of you, frankly, may be stepping back to think, my God, is this worth it? Is this work that I'm doing, is all of this worth it to me? And because these are general readings, Scorpio, I'm hearing two things, okay? So again, follow the thread of what sounds like it's more the message for you. And if you ever want to get a personal reading, my shop is linked below. You can book an appointment or grab an introvert reading, i.e. an email reading. That way you don't even have to interact. Spirit just speaks for you. So Spirit is saying about that stepping back and reflecting. Some of you need to recognize that your fruit has been dying on the vine. That this is like, wow. Okay, this is harsh, but this is what Spirit is saying, is that for some of you, it's like you haven't enjoyed this thing from minute one. Investing in this thing, doing this thing, the reward or the sensation that maybe you thought would be there or you hoped would be there just hasn't been there. So some of you need to pivot away from this. And I say need to. Tarot's not fatalistic. Spirit is always and only speaking like what is for your highest good, but that doesn't mean that if you do something that... your free will is the most important thing, Scorpio. You have to do what feels right to you. And truthfully, Spirit honors every decision that we make and loves us unconditionally, because the truth is, in our wisdom, we only take on the lessons we're ready to learn. And sometimes it's like, no, I'm not ready for that. Like, I'm not ready to, as they were saying for some of you, broadcast or put my words out there or publish or show my work to the world on this big level. Maybe some of you aren't ready for that, and that's okay too. Maybe you're still stopping and reflecting. But for those of you who are willing to invest in yourself and be very honest about what your work and the way you've spent your time and resources, what it is yielding for you, and to make a wise decision based on that, like I'm continuing with this or I'm going to stop and invest in this other thing, your honest appraisal of yourself and willingness to put certain things to death, certain projects or certain ideas to death on the way to creating your empire, it leads to money. It leads to financial security, and Spirit is saying for some of you there's a worry about wanting to provide for your family, and that is there. This is there for you. Spirit is saying don't let your fear stand in your way. And you're quite a courageous sign, Scorpio, so please know that both Spirit and I honor that in you and validate that in you. Doesn't mean that you don't have guts or heart or whatever. This is big. This is a big risk and a big potential reward, what you're doing. Both, personally and financially, the potential to be really fulfilling. but therefore also really fucking scary. And it's bringing you face to face with all of your fears. It's bringing you face to face with all of your limiting beliefs about yourself and your worries about what will happen if you move forward. But you know better than any other sign, Scorpio, that that's where the fucking treasure is. That you always have to fight the dragon, right? Fight or outsmart for my vegan Scorpios. Fight or outsmart the dragon to get the treasure. So Spirit wants you to take coming face to face with those scariest self-criticisms and limiting beliefs and fears about what you're capable of. They want you to know that that is actually a sign of strength, that this is actually a sign that you're at a point where the game can change. The Emperor is the ultimate authority figure, the boss, the who's your daddy of the tarot. So it's time to parent yourself. It's time to parent your life. It's time to get yourself in order. It's time to bring discipline. If anybody can rebuild after the tower falls, it's the Emperor. I mean, he's the builder of empires. Something falls apart this month, Scorpio. We won't mince words. Something is falling apart, but as they said, many of you knew that this thing was going out, that this wasn't working, or that it had a faulty foundation and it had to fall down. And some of you, you're witnessing the tower in the people close to you. It's not even you. But it will require you to be strong. You may be providing security for others, some of you. Like, oh my God, I was involved in this disaster. I need somewhere to stay. Okay, yeah, you can be here. We'll work it out. Leave the past behind, Scorpio. What's done is done. When the tower falls, of course, you know, gravity is gravity. We can't put it back together. All we can do is raise the ground and rebuild. We move forward. We dust our hands off at the grave and then we rebuild. Here, sitting at the end of your reading, in order together, the 7 followed by the 8 of Swords. So here is where your path diverges, Scorpio. Some of you may be still sitting in kind of a purgatory situation where you don't want to think about what's going to happen when you move forward. Maybe you're not ready to make that decision yet. There's no judgment. That's okay. Some of you, though, are recognizing that it's time to leave the battlefield. It's time to take what you can carry and go and head off and rebuild that empire. That some things that you've lost were better lost. I mean, what is nice to see is that you have this anxiety card, this 9 of Swords, and we are reducing the number of swords as we get to the last part of your reading. And it should go to show to some of you that may still be feeling locked up in these limiting beliefs. Sorry, I'm spatially challenged. In these limiting beliefs, that there is the chance to let some of this go. There is the chance to say, you know what, not all of these swords, these thoughts, these worries, these anxieties, these fucking knives that you put in your own back, Spirit just said, like, not all of those are yours. Some of them are programming. Lighten your load. Let it go. Let go, because you've got something to build that is your own and not built on anybody else's bullshit, faulty foundation. You're the Emperor this month, Scorpio. You have the world in your reading. And you have all the resources to do this. If anybody can rock and roll with the changes, it is you. You've got this. You're just shedding another skin. You're letting go some weight. Let it go. Don't hold yourself back. Don't keep a blindfold on and sit where you are and hope it'll get better, because the tower is falling. Okay, Scorpio? For some of you, Spirit just said, like, that's your job. Like, you know that it's not fucking good. You know that it's not working, or that the signs are there that things are not going in a good direction, start planning now. Get orderly and disciplined right now and start building your empire, working your side hustle, looking for other jobs, whatever this is, start preparing yourself and getting ready because there's something better out there for you. Something of yours, your own, which is something that you dearly enjoy, Scorpio, having things of your own. So now let's look at your fiercely focused spread, Scorpio. Let's look at what Spirit wants to say as far as action steps to benefit you this month. And if you haven't been here before, Scorpio, this is where we choose 5 quick cards for the 4 elements of your life and 1 theme for your month. And I think, Scorpio, pardon my enormous face, but I would like to look at you for this part of the read. Hi again. Okay. I think, okay. Alright, also my senior cat down here because he will like cry if I'm not next to him. So I gotta give him a pet. Hi, bud. Meowing at me. Okay. Alright, Scorpio. What is the theme for Scorpio in October, Spirit? What does Scorpio most like to know, do, be, or embody this month for their highest good? To enjoy their highest good, to have their best future, Spirit? A little bit of mystery. Spirit is also saying keep an eye out on the date of the full moon this month. So keep an eye on the full moon. What's happening on the full moon? Full moons are times of fruition, of either completion or crisis. So look out for what is like calling unequivocally for your attention on the full moon. Is it your relationship? Is it your job? Is it yourself, your creativity? Notice what's coming in for you, okay? The moon is also about change and mystery and evolution and things looking different as the light shifts. So when it comes to building what you want in October, Scorpio, things are going to keep evolving and shifting. You keep your eye on yourself. You keep your focus on yourself, your game, and don't be distracted by things going on the outside. Things are going to be changing around you, okay? You need to keep your feet on the ground and remember where your center is. Use your intuition. Trust your gut. Listen in for your guides, for your people, for the messages that come through on the radio, messages, phrases or symbols that you see or hear more than 3 times within like a couple days or a week. Like if it's the same song, I don't even like this song, but it's like, but I keep hearing the same damn song. It was on in the car, and then I walked into the shop and it was on in there, and then I got home and somebody was listening to it. Like, what the hell? It's everywhere. Tune in. What is the universe trying to like, what are they trying to tell you, Scorpio? They're speaking to you in subtle ways. Things are not always what they seem. And that's why you want to make sure you have your head on straight, okay? It's also October, card of mystery and Halloween. I mean, come on. Also, just go out and enjoy a party. How about that? Okay. So let's see, Scorpio, now. What is going on with your finances, your resources, job, health? What's going on in the earthly realm? Okay. Yeah, a little bit of fear moving forward. This is another card of like, oh, what if I let this go, will I get anything else? And it's like, this is known as the card of the miser. You can see this guy's wearing a crown, but for some reason he still feels like he has to like keep his feet on his money, his hand, like wear it like, no. Must make sure that nobody touches this. No. Mine. Daffy Duck and the old Looney Tunes. You're a fixed sign, Scorpio, so sometimes you want things to stay the same. And as much as, you're the sign of transformation, it's like, I didn't choose that transformation, fuck that. You're okay with it as long as you're, like, okay with it, but if it's coming from the outside and somebody's, like, changing things up without your permission, you don't like it. But it's going to free you up. Don't put fear into your money. That's what Spirit is saying. When you pay your bills, as much as you can, even if you're fully faking it, fake it till you make it. This is one of those where you're going to like program yourself over time to believe this, that like when you send out a bill or click, you know, submit payment or whatever, there's more where that came from. More where that came from. Ah, thank you. I'm so lucky. Like, I'm so lucky I can afford to pay these bills. Oh, I'm so lucky I can, like, that I have lights on. I'm so lucky that I have an apartment or this house or my family or etc. Gratitude is like the perfect antidote to feeling like, ooh, lacking. I'm lacking. Like, think about people who really have very little, and think about the fact that like you have the internet and you can watch and get like a free tarot reading. Like, you didn't pay anything for this and you're getting something. You know what I'm saying? So think about the things that come into your life freely and enjoy them and embrace them, and don't hold tightly to them. You know, enjoy them and then let them go. Life is in flux. You have the moon here. All sorts of beneficial changes coming to you. So don't put fear into your money. Don't be afraid to spend it. That doesn't mean spend crazily. It just means don't hoard it, okay? It's like they said, some of you have an opportunity to invest in yourself, and I feel like do that. I feel like don't tell yourself that you can't afford to take the class or to make the trip. Find a way. Spirit just said, find a way. Sorry, that was like a deep tune and I was like, what are you saying? I'm listening. Find a way. Don't refuse the opportunity to invest in yourself, telling yourself that you don't have the money to do it or the resources to do it. Find a way. Doesn't have to be right now or whatever, but you need to think about how it's going to happen. Remember, like they said, the emperor, get orderly, get systems in place. Maybe you can't afford to get into the class this round, but you can start in the one that starts in 2 or 3 months or whatever. Start thinking about it now and get your ducks in a row, okay? So I was shuffling for a card for your mental realm, what's going on with your thoughts, your words, and same card, different deck, 7 of Swords. Lighten your load. Some of this shit isn't yours, Scorpio. Maybe you're involved, Spirit is saying, in like family drama, like kind of getting stuck in old business, and it's time to let that go. Like, this is not your battle. Like, time to leave the battlefield and not carry the swords that you don't need. Don't let anybody program you, is what Spirit just said. Like, because they're showing me like some of these thoughts aren't even yours. Like, just needs like to shed, to lighten your load, to lighten the weight, to give yourself that compassion and forgiveness of not knowing everything and going forward anyway, okay? Spirit is saying some of you are trying to look a lot back at the past, live in the past maybe a little bit, either with remorse or regret or fear of having done the wrong thing. And Spirit is saying, look, the thing is that you're here now. And there is no benefit to looking over your shoulder about it at this point. Because I feel that reflecting and looking over your shoulder are 2 different things. You know, it's one thing to think about a decision that maybe you feel like you did the wrong thing or you worry that you did, and reflect on like, okay, well, what went wrong? You know, why didn't I make a clear-headed decision? How can I in the future put myself in a better position to do the right thing? Is very different than like, you know what my life would have been like if we were still together? You know, like where we would have babies by now. Like he would be a gold medal Olympian and I would be on a throne in Maui. I don't know. You know what I mean? We all do this. And it doesn't serve you. Spirit wants you to look forward. Leave the past behind. That's what I'm hearing. Leave the past behind. There's a big theme here of like, you're moving forward and it's time to drop like fantasy and guilt and remorse about the past. Now that said, let's look at your element. Let's look at what's going on in your feelings, Scorpio. What are your emotions telling you? Clearly, there's some need to let go, to release blockages, to release the past, to move on, to open up. And that's what they're saying is like you want to lighten your load because new things are coming in. This, for the same reason that you don't want to be a miser with your money. You want to open your hands so stuff has room to come in. King of Cups. Okay, so Scorpio, you are a master of the realm of emotions. One way or another, some could accuse you of being a master manipulator, but some of you know the depth of your compassion and the depth of your forgiveness when you feel like it. They also know the depth of your grudges when you're not feeling like it. I'm feeling that it would benefit a lot of you to consult with somebody who is an expertise in the field that maybe you need assistance with. Maybe for some of you it's like, I need a career coach, or I want a therapist because I'm working through something and it's really hard, this breakup or this death or this loss of a job, and I feel like I really need to talk to somebody. Could also just be a friend of yours who is very compassionate and you see is very emotionally mature and wise. Could also be somebody like a tarot reader, because the King of Cups looks at the unconscious, looks at the deep, deep well of your emotions. And the wonderful thing about the King of Cups is they have this mastery of their emotions, even among tumultuous situations, which is why he is sitting sort of impossibly steady on top of this surging ocean. You can see the ship in the background that is being like woo, thrown up on a wave. And yet he's remarkably calm, reflective, perceptive. You can be this King of Cups Scorpio, but court cards also come up when you're meant to meet somebody or encounter or spend time with somebody of this type. And this can be a female or male King of Cups. The court cards don't have to do with gender. I feel like this person has some really wonderful wisdom to bestow upon you. A missing piece is what Spirit just said, like a missing piece to the puzzle. And it may be because they can offer you an outside perspective. It's like, I see you, but I'm not in it like you are. Like, I can see what you're going through, but I'm not doing this with you. So I can tell you, hey, you know what? Ease up on the throttle and then, push down the brake. You know what I mean? Like, they can help you navigate these choppy waters, okay? So engage with that person, ask them questions, get their input, whoever this is for you, whoever that resonates as for you. Okay, and finally, Scorpio, let us see what is lighting you up. Fun fact, I don't know if it's fun, it's kind of funny. I've been studying this stuff since I was, astrology since I was 5. My mom raised me on it. And raised me on it like milk. And I always used to confuse Scorpio for a fire sign. So I was like, but they're so fiery. Everything I would read was like, my God, I keep thinking, and the sting and everything, that makes me think fire. So it took me a long time to come around to the fact that you guys are a water